It's Thursday, October 16th, 2014. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, we're talking about sunglasses.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Let's do this.
I learned something today.
Mhm.
It took me a
You
while.
learned something? Wow, you had something else that you could learn? You didn't know everything already?
Yeah, so there's a thing when it comes to e-cigarettes, while I would not use e-cigarettes for all the obvious reasons, they bother me a lot less than regular cigarettes because they don't smell like shit.
That's true.
Like, that is the primary reason why I will put up with people smoking their e-cigarettes at constant things, because I just don't care if you don't smell bad.
Yep.
So, I have realized that if someone smokes e-cigarettes in an area long enough, I think it takes a couple months, a smell builds up from the residue in the area similar to cigarettes, but it doesn't.
How did you learn this?
Because at my work, like, someone smokes an e-cigarette.
In the office?
That's really common in my industry now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
In fact, a lot of people I can see who had quit smoking started again because they can smoke e-cigarettes in buildings and no one cares.
The policy that I've seen is that even though, at least ostensibly, I originally believed it was water vapor, but now I've seen some things suggest it's not always just water vapor that comes out.
Propylene glycol and a bunch of other stuff.
Right, that is not entirely just water vapor coming out the other end. That even so, it's still only permitted in areas where regular smoking is permitted. If someone was trying to do that at my work, no one does. I would talk to HR, and they would probably be like, "Yeah, you can't. You can only smoke that where people can smoke."
Yep.
Because
I don't care because our office is huge and I'm kind of segregated from everyone, but based on my life for the past few months, both between this and just going to other offices and things, I noticed a smell that I'd never smelled before, and I noticed it in a few places for like months. And I narrowed it down over time, and I eventually figured out I can identify the smell of someone in this area regularly smokes e-cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really distinct smell, and I can't describe it very well.
Poison.
It reminds me vaguely of not the markers that kids would sniff to get high in the old days, but there was this one brand it wasn't Crayola, it was some like knockoff brand, and they made markers that had really nice fine points that were like really durable.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember that the brown one of that marker had such a distinctive smell that it is burned into my adult brain by way of kid brain.
The number one smell that is burned into my adult brain by way of kid brain is the smell of the Masters of the Universe Mossman figurine.
Oh.
If I smell, there's a lot of times in my life where I've been like, smells like Mossman.
I think
everyone knows who knows Mossman knows what Mossman smells like.
My number one from that era is actually the smell of the insides of those little WWF wrestling toys, the plastic guys that had actions.
Yep.
Because
those are good toys.
But they had a particular smell.
They don't make good toys like that anymore.
Yeah, those were really good toys, actually. I would play with those a little bit again if they were laying around.
There's no reason not to.
So
there's some at my house. You want to go to my parents' house, play with them?
And the smell of that brown fucking marker and the residue of e-cigarettes reminds my brain of that brown marker.
Okay.
Independently, in my building, there's been a problem for a long time of a bunch of people, all of whom are wide-bodied, shall we say, like to smoke in the stairwells illegally.
To avoid going outside.
Yes.
In my building, people go outside, and in fact, they have now pushed them away from the doorway. They have to go to the edge of the sidewalk.
Oh yeah, my building has put all these signs. They've actually tried to get people to stay away from the building, and most of the buildings nearby have done that. But these guys, it's not like these people are like on the 30th floor, like smoking. While that's annoying, I can at least understand why they would do that.
At least a roof deck or the fire escape.
But these people, the people who are smoking the most, are all on like the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like they could just walk down.
Listen, smoker is not a protective class. If I was a boss of a company, I would just fire everyone who smoked.
So
I don't care how good they are at their job.
The only reason I complain to the building and the super,
as opposed to your HR.
Yeah, well, because the HR, like, they complain.
It's people who aren't in your company.
Oh, no, it's no one who works for us. We're on the 16th floor of a giant fucking building.
Okay, it's other people in the building.
Yeah, so I complained, and we complained primarily because that stairwell was full of a sea of cigarette butts.
Yep. And
So
the janitor was not cleaning it up.
no one was dealing with it. No one seemed to care. So one day, I was walking down,
and
and
you saw the person,
I wear Google Glass every
the
day.
guilty party.
And I saw the people, and I was like, huh. So I just kind of tapped, and I just recorded videos I walked by.
Mm-hmm.
And I did this a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, I did this whole thing because as I was just giving advice to one of our friends, if you're going to antagonize certain kinds of people, it is best to ensure that they don't know who you are.
Yep.
So I then, when no one was in the stairwells, took my Google Glass with this nice wide angle, and I held it up really high and took a bunch of pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And then I printed posters in the office printer that
The
said
passive-aggressive path.
yes, but they didn't say don't smoke in the whatevers. They said security cameras are in these areas. Beware, you are on film, with little pictures of like the angles.
Mm-hmm.
And because the ceiling's kind of like dark and weird and dank and cables, like wouldn't be super obvious. And I figured that the people who smoke and do these kinds of people, and I put them on the door specifically, so they wouldn't see it when they came in to smoke. They'd finish their cigarette, they'd turn around to leave, and then they'd see the sign. And at that point, they probably don't want to be looking around up at the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it seemed to work because suddenly a lot of the people stopped smoking. But one day I was going down, and there were these two guys, and they were still smoking.
What kind of guys are these?
Big, fat guys wearing like ill-fitting, like regular business casual stuff.
Okay.
Like office people.
All right.
No tie though, so that I don't think they work finance. I think they just work like regular office jobs.
they not in finance, so they don't have a tie.
People in finance either seem to wear clothes that are tailored or fit well, or they're ill-fitting but they're wearing a tie. So I got pictures of them, and then I replaced the previous posters with posters that had the pictures of them because I got it from a really high angle because I came down the stairs. And it was like, no smoking in the building, violators will be prosecuted.
Yep.
So the janitors, about a week after I did that, cleaned up all the cigarette butts. There are now 0 cigarette butts, and that has been the case for months. So I claim victory by scaring some fat people into not smoking and leaving cigarette butts in the stairwell. And the posters are still there, so the building...
So the building supports your signage?
The building tacitly approved of my tactics.
Okay.
That is my story.
Great story.
Yeah. It's Thursday. It's the lounge.
No, it's not.
So what are you going to talk about tonight on the lounge?
I'm not, but I do have a complaint about some news that's probably Monday news, but whatever.
A complaint.
So Apple announced today a bunch of, iPad, whatever, no one cares. There's no difference between the new iPad and the one I have already.
I care in the sense that
faster.
I'm probably going to buy an iPad, so I might as well just get the new one.
Of course, yeah, of course. Why would you buy? I don't understand why they're still selling the non-Retina iPad Mini. Who is going to buy that?
I would buy it if it was
guess
like...
it's cheap.
If it was half price, I would consider
Do they
it.
still sell the iPod Touch? Why? Why would you get the iPod Touch when you could get the iPad Mini not Retina for cheap? Why even have that? The lowest end iPad should be the one I have, which is now called
Scott,
which used to be called iPad Mini with Retina and is now called iPad Mini 2.
When we bought
that should be the lowest one that they have.
When we bought that Mac that we eventually used in HTPC,
that was the highest end one.
No, it was not. In fact, it was the lowest end one.
First of all, that's a PC.
We bought the Core Solo.
Yes, but
it had 1 core.
Right, but it was still the newest model. Right, it was just the lowest configuration of the model.
I just remembered that in that era, the Core 2 Duo was a big deal because Daddy 2 cores was not a common thing in consumer
There's
PCs.
also a new Mac Mini, so if you're someone who wants an HTPC, that is the #1 recommended editor's choice at Geeknights Incorporated magazine.
Unless you want to play games on your TV.
That is not correct. It would have been correct, but a few months ago. However, there has been a development.
Oh, the Steam Stream?
The Steam Stream.
Can you stream a Windows game to a Mac Steam?
Not only can you do that,
I did not know you could do that.
You can stream it to a fucking Linux machine. It doesn't give a shit. So the way this works, obviously this won't help you too much with, say, emulated games, but any game that's in Steam that you want to play. So you have your real desktop PC somewhere else in the house. Obviously, you have one of those, right? Yes, you do, because you're a nerd. You have your mad powerful desktop PC with your NVIDIA 770 or so, whatever's in there, right? On there, you've got all your games installed. All your games that need that 770 or GPU or whatever to play are on that computer. You have that computer on a LAN alongside your HTPC, which is on the same LAN. You go to your HTPC with just a measly Mac Mini with no GPU to speak of. However, that measly Mac Mini does have a network connection that's fast, either wired, Ethernet, or Wi-Fi.
It's got a RAM and a processor.
And it is capable of playing 1080p video, which is all you can watch on your TV anyway. That Mac Mini, right? You go on that Mac Mini, you open up Steam. And in the Steam list, will be all those games that are on your desktop PC. All of them from the low-end ones to the high-end ones. It doesn't matter. And if you try to play one of them, that game will actually open up on your desktop PC where Steam is running. And you can actually go over to your desktop PC and look at it running. But it is running in a 1080p window. And Steam is capturing every pixel in that 1080p window, encoding it to video, and streaming it over the network to your Mac Mini, Linux computer, or other Windows PC.
I think what this means for me is that the GTX 460
and while there
small
is
form factor video card I got in the HTPC will be the last video card I ever buy over there.
That is correct for me as well. There is an amount of lag that would be unsuitable for an incredible real-time competitive game, such as a competitive StarCraft 2 or Street Fighter. But I was playing Resident Evil, newish Resident Evil 6, I think, and it was not a fucking problem.
You know what? I will test it with Mark of the Ninja, because that game is a simple 2D platform, but it required some precision movement.
The number one reason I love the Steam Stream feature is that you can get Steam running on your HTPC and your desktop without having to constantly log in and log out of both of them. They now let you log in both places at once. So the Mac Mini, editor's choice at Geeknights for best HTPC once again, and probably for a long time, as long as Steam Stream exists. However, there's something else that upset me. The other actual announcement that matters from Apple today is they got a new iMac, which is just an iMac, just like all the other iMacs, except the screen is a ridiculous resolution. It's 27-inch. I prefer 24, but 27 is tolerably large, all right? But this motherfucker is not 1080p. It's not Ultra HD 4K. It's not Cinema 4K. This motherfucker is 5K.
Daddy 5.
Daddy 5Ks. Right? This is the king of all monitors, and you can only get this monitor attached to a Macintosh computer.
The fuck?
For $2,500, which is not bad. I would pay $2,000 just for the monitor if I had $2,000.
As would I. I would not do that right now. A lot of travel.
No, I don't have any money right now. But if I had money...
Even I am at the limit of my spending right now.
If I had money and I could mount the monitor on an arm, which you usually can't do with Apple monitors...
If I'm spending $2,000 on a monitor, at that point, I'm buying an arm.
Yeah, well, I have arms already.
Well, I would get one of the big ol' arms.
I have big ol' arms. Anyway.
I would get bigger than what you got.
Motherfuckers, it's not so much about Apple. Why you making this monitor attached to the iMac? It's, hey... Dell, Samsung, everyone else in the universe. How come you don't have a fucking 5K monitor like that?
I can tell you why.
Why can't you do that? I mean, Dell has one that's like in the works. It's like two monitors stuck together. It's like, that's garbage.
Well, this one is probably effectively
Apple doesn't even make this
monitor.
This monitor is made in someone else's factory, and the piece that's the display, the important part, is not made by Apple, is made in a factory by someone else and bought by Apple with a contract.
I didn't read the specs. I suspect this is actually two monitors stuck together, and then...
You think the iMac is two monitors stuck together? I don't.
Well, it won't appear that way to the user, so it doesn't matter.
You think it's that flawless that you can't tell?
I'll bet you can't tell.
If that's true, then I don't even want it. Who wants two monitors stuck together?
Because you wouldn't be able to tell.
No.
It would act like one. What do you care? And it would, with existing specs, it would probably, depending on how they wired it up, I mean, as we were talking about on Twitter, everything short of the newest version of DisplayPort can't handle that resolution.
But Apple Apple literally invented mini DisplayPort, right? And they fucking love DisplayPort. What do you think's inside the iMac? A very tiny DisplayPort cable, right? People think like, oh, it's internal, like everything is like on one board. It's like, no, even inside your iPad, it's like there's pieces just like there are on a laptop.
Well, the problem is, as Conrad pointed out to me, when I was talking about this way back, is that Adobe software and in general Windows can't work on high resolution displays.
Why not?
If you have a super high DPI,
if you have a good enough video card, you should push it.
Yeah, but UI elements, because the way shitty software is written and the way Windows does its renderer, you can't see them. and you can't scale them most of the time. And the only scaling you have basically
is the magnifier, which will basically
literally removes the point of having the good
it'll just
monitor.
make the same pixel 4 pixels larger, and then you.
Yeah, and Adobe seems to say that they can't do anything until Microsoft makes a change.
I'm sure Windows 10 is going to do it.
We'll see. We'll see. The problem seems to also exist with a bunch of software on Macs, but not as badly as it does on Windows.
Yeah, this is pissing me off because I really need some kind of Retina display on my computers. And the number one reason, actually, to get Retina display in your computer is to develop apps for iOS with Retina display. You want to make an iOS, like an iPad app on Retina resolution? Too bad that iPad has more pixels than your monitor, so unless you have this new iMac.
I just want it because even my giant monitor now, I need more pixels because there's a lot of shit I want to be displaying while I'm working on shit.
Yeah, even if I just take a photo, it's like, this photo's like 4,000 something. I could actually see the whole photo all at once on that fucking monitor if I could get it.
Yep.
Almost. Yeah, no, maybe not the whole photo all at once, but a lot of it. Enough. As opposed to, like, if I want to see it, each pixel in the photo being 1 pixel on the screen, having to zoom way in. Yeah.
So I got one other funny news. I find this funny. So you shit should all vote. So go vote. Voting is going to happen kind of soon. And this is the election that no one votes in.
Who's there even to vote for in New York?
In New York, I don't know.
I know.
Well, actually, you know what? In New York, Scott, the vote already happened. The primary is literally all that matters.
Yes, we know.
So in Florida, it actually does matter because it's kind of neck and neck. They have a shit tier Republican governor and a poop tier Democrat is running against him. And I don't want to get into the politics of all that, but
really, this isn't about politics.
They had a debate.
Okay.
And the debate would have been ignored like all midterm debates are, but for the fact that one of these assholes did the thing that I often do.
Then wouldn't that make him not an asshole, or would make you an asshole?
Yo. So basically, debates have these crazy sets of rules, like can't ask about this, can't ask about that, no teleprompters, whatever.
I would only agree to a debate if I was a politician with no rules whatsoever. Say whatever the fuck you want.
No rules whatsoever. Just stab motherfucker. Be like, well, I guess I'm uncontested.
Other than the laws of the land.
No rules on a barge, international waters.
Dude, I'll do a political debate on a
2
barge.
governors enter, 1 governor leave. So anyway, or governor.
I go to the polls, corpse. 1 vote, corpse.
So basically, what happened was one of those rules said no electronic devices on the stage.
You know what? While I just said I would like a debate with no rules, it's not a bad idea in a debate to be like, all right, you can't have your iPad and your iPhone to look shit up during the debate. That's actually an okay rule.
So one of them complained because
the other guy had an earpiece. I mean, come on, what was going on?
There was in fact an electronic device on one of the candidates' podiums. It was hidden, but it was there. Okay. It was a small electric fan.
Oh, that is an electronic device.
It was technically.
And I could argue that is indeed a competitive advantage in a debate where you might be sweating it.
Yeah.
And that might be helping you out. It look better, right? Because looks matter in debates now. So if you're sweating and that cools you off, and I'm sweating and everyone can see me sweating,
so Chris,
that's an advantage.
The guy who had the fan, apparently he's known for having this fan everywhere. He brings his fucking fan with him everywhere.
There's a guy I play Netrunner with, and we go to the Shady Deli, and the Shady Deli does not always turn on the air conditioner.
Does he bring a fan?
And often they have bacon cooking in the ovens, and he bought a fan on Amazon and brings it everywhere he plays Netrunner in case it's too hot.
So Chris does the same thing. So the Rick Scott, who's the shit tier guy, he insisted that the debate rules prohibited the fan, at which point the crowd started booing. And
well, you bring it up, in the front of everyone, right? That's not good for you because then people see you bringing it up and you basically just hurt yourself in the debate. What you want to do is you want to bring that up beforehand quietly to the moderator and get it taken care of off the scene, because that way, what's the other guy going to do? Go up on stage and be like, my opponent was trying to get my fan banned. Now he looks like the moron because whoever brings up something so stupid on stage.
Here, I'm going to read something here. As Chris walked onto the stage.
Also, fan ban.
the debate moderator, the anchor of CB whatever, told the crowd and the viewing audience that Scott was also in the building, but that we've been told that Governor Scott will not be participating in the debate because of Chris's fan. He was not willing to debate.
He used it as an excuse to get out of a debate he knew he was going to lose. That's not a good idea.
So they did actually end up debating.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he walked on, and
The other guy got rid of the fan?
and then he basically complained like, sorry I was late, but I wasn't sure if my opponent would show up. So basically he just lied. He was like, I wasn't about the fan. I didn't think he showed up. Meanwhile, he's like on stage waiting.
Yep.
So this debate was hilarious.
This guy who complained about the fan could have eliminated the fan and, done, had that be a positive in his favor, but instead he just turned that fan into a negative for him. The guy who brought the fan, very good move bringing the fan.
Yep. Now, if I were going to destroy...
The fan did end up being the competitive advantage he had hoped it would be.
If I was going to destroy someone on a fan like this, you can't be petulant. You can never appear petulant unless you are attempting to make people think you are petulant, like when I win a game.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, what you need to do is wait for that moment. Like that moment in the presidential
You could have
debate
made
where
a
Obama was
snarky-
like, "Yeah, what did you say? We used to have a lot of cavalry too." We
See,
got rid
now
of
here's
that.
a good way I would have done it, right? If I didn't know about the fan and the debate had already started and there was no way I could bring up the fan without bringing it to the audience's attention and thus, looking bad, I would have said something along the lines of, nice fan you got there. It's a little hot. Yeah. Hey, there's no electronic devices allowed at this debate.
No, I would have gone one step further. I'd
know
wait,
that, right?
I'd
Lol.
wait until I got in a witty bonbon. I got one of those moments where I made a point.
I would have, or I could have done the thing where every single answer I make, like sometimes the news will do a segment where like everything is a Princess Bride reference. Every
everything's
single
a fan reference?
answer is something like yeah, you're gonna ask me about the environment. We definitely need to cool off this global warming. My opponents.
You got to get to the end, like, when they shake hands.
Or it's like they're asking about education. Like
That was a wonderful
I'm not
debate.
a big fan of Common Core.
That was a great debate, and I want to thank you. I just want to let you know that I'm a big fan. I'm probably your second biggest fan. Because he came into this planning to bring up this fucking fan, meaning he could have written like 100 fan jokes instead.
But anyone old enough to run for governor and actually, or be a governor is not smart or cool.
You know,
enough
we just need
to do
someday.
what we just suggested.
Maybe someday, because
These politicians are really lucky they don't have to debate us fuckers. And you know what? If they knew they were going to debate me, they would have left that fan fucking straight at home.
I got one Gamergate kid to block me.
Okay.
Basically, I kept arguing with him, and eventually he's like, "You keep saying all these things, and I can't respond to all of them. You're typing way too fast." And then he blocked me, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a victory. I'm sorry that my submachine gun brain is faster than your bolt action brain." I just thought of that now. I wish I'd tweeted that at him, but I guess he blocked me,
He
so it's
blocked
too
you,
late.
so it's not going to happen.
So, yeah. Anyway, things of the day. My thing of the day. So we did our lecture at PAX Prime, how to win every game. One of the slides, I found this picture of the rules to hockey. It's a really good picture.
Yep.
Like I really like this picture of this book. It's 1931 official hockey rules for the Canadian Amateur Hockey Association, Constitution, bylaws, and regulations.
We should play hockey 100% according to those rules as opposed to any modern rules.
Ooh. Thing is, you know what? Because the rules are old, I'll bet that just means modern trap strategy is 100% dominant.
The point is, I'm going to be the coach and not get killed by the equipment rules.
Well, you don't want to be the goalie in 1931 rules.
That's your job.
That's Jason Mask at least.
This is actually just a plot to injure you horribly.
I thought skiing was going to take care of that.
I don't think Jason Mask was then. I think Jason Mask was like 60s, 70s.
That's what I'm saying. Is this Jason Mask era or
no,
not?
I think that's pre-Jason Mask.
I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, let's move on.
I'll look
Is
up
that
when
your whole
Jason
thing of the
Mask-
day?
No. So I was updating those slides because I'm going to be in Australia giving basically the same talk, and I'm giving a mini version of that talk at another convention. And that convention, because they're going to redistribute the slides, I got to have all my citations like embedded.
Yeah.
And I had citations in the notes for most of the
We
stuff.
should start doing more citations. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I
Well,
don't.
I always keep them.
I usually do it when it's an image from Flickr because it's really easy.
Yep. What I tend to do is I don't put them in the slide, but I always have them ready in case someone asks.
I put them in the slide in tiny text at the bottom.
Yep. But for this thing, I had to put them in the slide just because this is going to be redistributed to a ton of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I went around and I noticed when I was going through that I didn't actually remember where I got this picture from. So I searched
Drag
for
the
it.
image into Google Image Search to find itself.
And what I found was something amazing.
Okay.
This book was found in a lost time capsule
We just love time capsules, don't we?
that was discovered a couple of years ago.
Whoa.
It's the Maple Leaf Gardens time capsule.
Whoa, a hockey-specific time capsule?
Yes,
Only
Ryerson
hockey?
University revealed the contents of a 1931 time capsule
In Toronto?
that they found inside the walls of Maple Leaf Gardens during a renovation.
Whoa.
It's a 20 by 12 by 12 copper box that had the rules of hockey, a bunch of other hockey, all this cool stuff. And in fact, there's a mystery. Other than like, why'd we lose it? How'd we find it?
How did we not know it was in there? Who put it in there?
So one of the things in there is a tiny hand-carved ivory elephant, and no one can figure out what the significance of that is.
Okay, well,
So
I don't
they-
think you're going to.
They're actually asking the public if anyone can tell him anything, an anecdote, a memory,
You should
a
look
logo.
up for people who worked at Maple Leaf Gardens in 1931.
There are students at Ryerson who are like researching this for school.
Yeah, get the staff list, like who was the janitors, who was the office workers, who was working there, who drove the Zamboni, who's the equipment managers,
Yep.
who was the whatever.
So yeah, this thing. Oh shit! I just noticed they had multiple hockey rule books. The 1930 NHL rules are also in there.
Okay.
Look inside the Ontario Hockey. So yeah, it's all hockey rule books. It's a time capsule of vintage hockey.
Dude, you know what we could do? We could print like physical books that are like hockey rules, football rules, tennis rules, soccer rules,
And make a time capsule?
Sell them on Amazon as Kindle books,
Oh,
and people will probably buy those
yeah.
because that's like a useful book to have. And then we could print on demand them as well, as
Maybe.
long as we don't. Like, I'm sure we can't do that with the NFL rule book because like we'll get in trouble. We can still do like football rules, right?
We got to get the old
We
copies
can't
of the
do like
rules.
FIFA rule book, but we can do soccer rule book.
Take the rules that are out in public domain or make our own rules. Like I would basically move hockey more like Olympic hockey.
Right.
Anyway, that's my thing of the day. This thing's pretty fucking cool.
Okay, it's my thing of the day. I did a Monday news. I'll do a Wednesday thing of the day. Here is an animation from Mazarasha. It is
Ooh.
this awesome animation that's sort of rotoscope. I'm not even sure if it's rotoscoped or not, but it has this look to it that I've never seen before in any kind of animation. It's uploaded on November 8th, 2009. It's a 1977 cartoon, the Soviet Union cartoon film. The author, Antonily Petrov. Russia, 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 Cyrillic words. The only English word in the title is polygon, with English subtitles in parentheses. The word with English subtitles in parentheses. Anyway, what is this about? It's a sort of a sci-fi, it's almost like an episode of The Twilight Zone. This dude is on an island, tropical island, and he seems like an awesome dude. He has horrible memories of war or whatever, I think from South Africa-ish. And he built a tank because he's some sort of military, developer or whatever. And the Soviet head honchos come to check out the tank. And the tank basically has a mind of its own. If you shoot at it, it dodges perfectly. And then they're like, oh, doesn't it have offense? He's like, yeah, I got to turn that on. He goes and turns it on. And then Twilight Zone. Watch it for yourself. It's only 9 minutes and 57 seconds long, counting the credits.
So I just learned something you probably don't know about this. You know how they made it?
How'd they make it?
Quote, the film is drawn using an unusual animation technique called photographica.
So it wasn't rotoscope. It was something else. That's why
Well,
it looks that
they
way?
might have rotoscoped. This is independent of any rotoscope.
Okay.
Photographica consists of 2 celluloid layers for each character with special color schemes and one of the layers out of focus to imitate a 3-dimensional space rendering. The animation then actively moves the camera and changes the perspective for each scene to give a sense of realism.
Whoa.
So this is pre-CGI, like 3D stuff.
This looks different than any animation that you've probably seen in your life. Maybe we can look up for other examples of Photographica, but
I can find very few references to Photographica. It seems
Yeah.
like it's not super well...
but look at that. Can you think of anything else you've seen that looks like that?
Oh, man.
Also, the story's amazing Twilight Zone quality story. So,
Nonro.
yep. It's got a lot of things Geeknights likes. Sci-fis, Soviets, tanks,
So-
animations.
In the meta moment, no book club book yet because Scott's probably not going to read anything till it starts snowing. So I'm going to wait.
I got time to read right now, especially if you're going to go away.
All right, I'll pick a book then.
What book is it?
I don't know. I got to pick one.
Okay.
So I will be in Australia coming up. I'm going to be at the Fixed Protocol Conference in Sydney.
No one cares.
If anyone wants to go see me talk about video games there.
I think more likely someone just meet you in Sydney as opposed to,
But I am giving a talk about games
going
there.
to the Fix conference.
And then I'm going to be at PAX Australia. How to win every game on Friday at 11 Fruit Bat Theater. Losing Saturday 2 p.m. in the Fruit Bat Theater.
Okay. Other meta things, just to remind everyone, Geeknights has presence everywhere on the internet. Facebook, Google+, Twitters. Are you doing any tumblers over there, maybe?
I haven't tumbled in a while.
Okay.
Actually, no, I did. I just tumbled. I documented NTP for the last fucking time.
Oh, okay. I have a newsletter that I write occasionally that you can subscribe to.
It's a really good newsletter, and I'm actually saying that earnestly, not just because I'm the co-host.
Like, I decided to put original content in it as opposed to just, these are the episodes of Geek Nights we did recently.
Think of the newsletter as the secret fifth night of Geek Nights.
Maybe. What else do we have going on? There's that one convention, PAX Australia, coming up.
PAX South is coming up.
Yeah. We have YouTube channels, and we randomly stream video games and Netrunner and other things. And so you should follow us on the video YouTubes and Twitches or whatever.
And after Australia, we'll actually be able to resume Geek Nights Presents Utena. Do not fear, all of you people who keep bothering me. We're going to keep going. Just got to get through convention season.
I'm actually kind of in the mood. I've been listening to some Utena OST at work.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
also, the next episode is one of the big ones. And last night, we had some friends over to celebrate Emily's birthday and have some pretzel bread. And we started talking Utena because it's that set, that crowd. And I remembered a bunch of episodes that are later in the show that I really want to get to talk about.
I don't remember, so I'm going to watch it again.
Apples. Remember the apple?
I remember there was something about apples.
Remember Kanai? Do you remember who that was?
No, but I do remember shaved ice.
No. You remember the candelabra?
No,
Really?
really.
Do you remember Toga, I believe it's your line?
Yes.
You seem to only remember the fucked up parts, like the sexually fucked up parts.
They left an impression.
And the cars.
Yes, they left an impression, you could say.
So yes, that show will continue.
All right.
I'm amazed at how many people I know who just don't wear sunglasses.
Maybe their eyes are not very sensitive.
No, I see them squinting in sunlight all the time, shielding their eyes, unable to see things, blinded by glare, and yet no sunglasses.
Well, I
And-
know that in some cultural settings, like sunglasses are like taboo, and in other places they're like ultra common. Everyone wears sunglasses all the time.
Well, I noticed, and I don't know if it's just I noticed this, but when I was in Japan with Emily years ago, I remember distinctly that almost no one was wearing sunglasses outside, no matter how sunny it was. Meanwhile, in Singapore, everyone was wearing sunglasses.
There you go.
Yeah. You know what? Sunglasses are awesome.
I kind of need sunglasses. I mean, my vision is el perfecto, or at least as perfect as, I guess it's not 100% perfect because nothing is, but it's like as good as human vision is going to be on, overall. I don't need any assistance whatsoever in seeing anything.
But
But
remember, something like a third plus of Americans, at least, have uncorrected, unnoticed vision problems.
sure, but I haven't had any vision problems. So,
How would you know?
because I can read the eye chart from really far away.
Nah, the eye chart doesn't really. Anyway.
And I've never messed up reading the eye chart. Anyway, I need fucking sunglasses like all the time. Even if it's just like a little bit bright out, I need sunglasses. Otherwise my eyes hurt like, fuck, And then maybe because I keep wearing sunglasses all the time, I am now further less tolerant to the brightness like a vampire, so I need them even more.
Nope.
But I need them a lot. Like
I
all
like
the time.
wearing sunglasses just because they make the world seem a lot sharper because you're getting a lot of glare, and I'm assuming your sunglasses are polarized. Otherwise, you're a moron.
If you're sunglasses, so polarization is the most important thing. If you have non-polarized sunglasses, you might as well not have sunglasses. They're just garbage if they're not polarized.
Yep. Now, the angle of polarization matters, actually, because I didn't think a lot about sunglasses because for much of my life, when I was a kid, for example, once I got glasses, having prescription glasses makes sunglasses way more pain in the ass. Your options are...
Well, you can get the clippy ones.
Yeah, the clippy ones make your glasses way heavy, and the kind that your parents will buy you are usually really, really shitty because expensive ones are way expensive.
Right, but the thing with clippy sunglasses is that the regular glasses are where all the fancy lens is, and the sunglasses can just be shitty regular sunglasses
Yes.
that are cheap, and if you lose the clippy-on part, you just get another clippy-on
You
part.
never lose the clippy-on part. I still have the clippy-ons to like every pair of glasses I ever owned.
But all those glasses are gone?
Yes.
Yes.
I had cool ones once that were magnetic, and they were actually like they were really nice.
But those might fall off in a tough situation.
No, those were some fucking magnets.
Okay.
Those are the kind of magnets that are
Neodymium?
probably not allowed on glasses anymore because they'd kill a kid if they ate them.
Oh, alrighty.
They're really good.
Okay.
But I remember
How do you get the sunglasses off?
you angle them. Like if you take it and you like angle, it's the same way you get a big magnet off. You have to
If you
angle
get
it.
two neodymium magnets stuck together, God help you getting them apart.
Just throw them away. Just give up.
You'll need some like kind of machinery, like a vise to hold one of them, and then hit the top one with a hammer. I don't know.
We had some super powerful electromagnets in the physics lab in high school.
Yeah, but you can just turn the power off.
Oh yeah, but we would fuck around with them a lot when the teachers weren't around.
Oh, got your belt. Pants falling down.
Yep.
Okay.
Of course, one time we rolled the Van de Graaff generator outside the teacher's office. He was in there like grading papers. We just turned it on like right
near
next
the
to the door.
doorknob?
Yep. We just left it there, running, and it ran forever. And we thought we were so clever. And then later we look and we see he's standing in the tiny window of his office looking out at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he reaches behind him and he flicks a switch, and then the lights turn off in the classroom, as does the Van de Graaff generator. But yeah, we're not talking about Van de Graaff generators.
I thought you were gonna say like he took like a metal stick and like threw it at the knob or something, and then opened the door.
Then he
or
came
got
out,
a rubber glove and opened the door.
Then he came out and he was like, "Yeah, the door frame's grounded, so
Anyway,
you're all in trouble."
for wasting electricity.
Yep. Anyway, enough about magnets. So, when I was a kid, back when I watched TV, and thus there were ads, there's one ad that I remember. The ad for blue blockers.
What the fuck?
Blue blockers.
I never heard of this in my life.
They were sunglasses and they had all these ads that made a big deal about the fact that they block the blue light, and blue light scatters more than other light. So
Are
they
these
just,
like those fucking Gunnar Optics yellow things that they sell at the packs all the time?
see, no, because these were actually aimed at a much lower socioeconomic class back then. Like, these were marketed in the bad part of town.
Okay.
Now it looks like they're trying to market much higher end.
All right.
By now, I mean, they actually still exist, and that's amazing.
Well,
to
the
me.
brand still exists. It
But
could be someone just bought it or something.
They're just amber sunglasses. Like, there was nothing special about them.
Oh, but that's a cool color for sunglasses.
I feel like amber's only okay
Old people.
in like
grandpa.
if you're wearing those like maybe for a hike on a not sunny day, that's okay. I prefer the dark black lens, like the darkest, blackest possible. But obviously not Stevie Wonder black, because that wouldn't work.
Okay.
And actually, I have like 5 pairs of sunglasses with all different shades and all different like polarization angles. And I paid attention to a lot of that because when I worked at Pipeline, one of the benefits I got was several $1,000s of money that I could have used in an FSA.
Oh, and your wallet's too many 50s.
Which was
in it.
stupid. FSAs are stupid. And I wish they didn't exist. They should be illegal. I think they're a bad idea all around.
Especially when you put your money in, then your money disappears.
Yep. FSA is basically you put money in pre-tax, and you have to estimate how much money you're going to spend on that kind of healthcare for a year. And at the end of the year, if you don't spend it, it's just fucking gone.
So so why did you put so much money into it?
I didn't. The company filled it just as a benefit.
Why didn't they just give you that in cash and you could pay tax on it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
So it was a benefit that I had. So what I did is every year I bought thousands of dollars worth of ultra fancy prescription sunglasses.
Okay.
And I still have them all.
All right.
So I started to, that was when I went from the point of actually like just buying the cheapest whatevers to when they asked me, what polarization angle would you like? Is when I realized that even sunglasses can have a nerdery and a rabbit hole.
Yep. So I, needing sunglasses so much as I do with my, sensitive to light eyeballs, or at least sensitive to light being, right? Not liking the sun.
Yeah.
I used to always, get the $20 sunglasses from the rest stop.
Because you lose them.
Right, because you lose them all the time. And the ones at the rest stop, they're not that bad. It's like you can get pretty good ones there. They're comfortable. They block the light. Or I'd go to like Macy's and get $20 ones. Pretty similar to the ones at the rest stop. And I kept doing that. And they were flimsy. They would break. I would lose them, whatever. I just buy a new one. And then eventually I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get the expensive ones. And I got Oakleys. You can get custom Oakleys. You choose everything about them.
Yep, I have custom Oakleys too.
Cost like $300 or whatever. Not that many. I made 200, whatever. But you know what? I got those so long ago. I lived in Beacon or whatever. And I still have them. And they haven't broken or been lost. So I've profited versus buying the $20 ones all the time by buying the one expensive sunglasses.
Yep.
So there you go. It worked.
The only trouble
The other
now,
thing is you can change the lenses in them. You can just pop them out, pop new ones in. So when they get scratched up, if you don't take good care of them, pop.
see, that's the trouble. I don't get any of those benefits because if I get prescription Oakleys for sunglasses, there's like an extra $1,000 of lens and custom work.
Yeah, the new lenses cost less than $100 for for the fancy polarized mirror whatever ones. And then
I need like -4.5 diopters. So
needed-
the lenses need to be like super
Yeah.
polycarbonate,
there's,
whatever.
there's the rubber bits that go near the nose and on the ears, and those were getting sort of nasty, and I lost one of the nose bits. So I went to the Oakley store near work, and I was just like, I need this new rubber bit. They're like $15. I gave them $15. They replaced all the rubbery bits. I'm like, oh, all right. How about that?
Yeah.
So that would not happen for the. But then again, I guess $15 equals another pair of crappy sunglasses.
So you pretty much just wear the same sunglasses. It's just if it's bright, you wear the same sunglasses.
Unless I'm wearing Google Glass, which has its own sunglasses.
Yep. I have different sunglass types and tints for different situations. Because skiing, here's an interesting thing. When you're skiing,
Well, don't you need sunglasses in the ski goggle when you're skiing?
well, yes, but different colors. Here's the deal. When you're skiing, it might be really hot out. Like it might be 40,
Why would
50
you be
degrees.
skiing when it's hot?
Spring skiing's awesome. Or you start at the way top of a mountain, and then even though it's cold, you're skiing hard, so you're getting hot and generating heat. So you might not want to wear like
So
a
you need-
full face
you need
mask.
anti-fog ski.
Yeah, that's one part of it.
sunglasses?
But the other thing is, even if it's not bright out, you still need some form of sunglasses
Because
usually.
the sun is blasting off the completely white snow and blinding you.
Even if it's not blinding you because it's kind of dark out or really overcast, the glare and the just diffusion of light will mean that you can't see edges or features or the shape of the snow.
So even though you can see in general and you wouldn't normally wear sunglasses if you were just standing there, you're going at a high speed and you need to be able to see things far away or in specific places
Yep, like here,
to avoid hitting them and dying.
like here's the thing. Imagine if when you walk on sidewalk, if you stepped on the crack in the sidewalk, you would literally just fall over.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to see where the cracks are and not step on them. If you don't wear polarized sunglasses on a lot of ski slopes, like at certain times of day, you can't see any of the cracks.
Don't ski, you'll get killed.
I'm doing okay so far. So I got these like
It's only a matter of
they're
time.
yellow tinted, but that's pretty much it. And I use those for like normal skiing, especially if it's kind of dark or dim out. And then I got a really like bright orange. It's not amber, it's like a bright orange tint that's also super polarized with a prescription like glass insert. And I use that with a mask if I'm skiing and it's bright out. And if it's really bright out, then it's probably also warm and sunny. At least the kinds of places I usually ski. So then I either put on a different ski mask that has a mirror finish, or I'll just wear the Oakleys. The super black. Because, Oakley, they have like, the 3 levels of black tint? I got the blackest.
They have so many different possible sunglass colors and
What tint do you
polarization
use? Like, what
levels.
percentage?
I don't even know. I chose the ones that like go with the ones I have. Yeah, I have to like bring up the list and I can point them to you, and like they have a grid of whatever.
Yeah, I use the blackest one. I forget what percentage it is.
I think mine are actually not black. They're like silver, mirror, something. I don't know.
Nah.
Platinum, something. Fuck, I don't know. Don't know.
Yep. But I have not bought new sunglasses in many years because now that I don't work at that company anymore, I'm not spending that much money on sunglasses.
So for some reason, right, depending on where you are, it may be acceptable or unacceptable to wear sunglasses in different situations. Like, I saw someone on Twitter getting mad at people wearing sunglasses in the subway after the subway goes underground. It's like, I do that.
Why would you take them off? Well, you know what?
Well, why would I take them off if I'm wearing them? It's more comfortable to keep them on my face than on my head, and I needed them when I was outside. And if I put them somewhere, that's a surefire way to lose them.
Yep.
Right? But the other thing is, obviously some people, especially with sunglasses where you can't see the person's eyes, they're going to assume that, like, you're perving on people or whatever, wearing those sunglasses.
Like, no, dog, I'm asleep.
But it's like, I might be asleep, or I'm mostly just like, oh, I don't have to play the avoid eye contact game. I can just keep my eyes in the most comfortable direction, regardless of whether anyone is there making eye contact with me.
I hate that game.
Normally, when you're on the subway, you have to constantly play this game of avoid eye contact with everybody. Right? And at every single stop, people get on, people get off. You have to readjust for that game. If you wear sunglasses, you're bowing out. Like, I'm not playing.
I will wear sunglasses indoor. I'll pretty much wear sunglasses anywhere. In fact, there was a period.
I'll wear them at night indoors.
At RIT.
If I have them on me because I had them on me for some reason, and I don't have a place to put them to prevent them from getting lost, I'll put them on my head or face regardless of the level of light that is currently out there.
There's a period when I was at RIT where I wore my sunglasses all the time except when I was home. Every class, everywhere, no matter where I went, I wore them. I only took them off at club meetings because it's hard to watch anime with sunglasses on, and at home because I was home. And the professors didn't seem to like it, but they never gave me any shit about it. I guess it didn't matter because I was asleep anyway.
I don't think I've been given shit about wearing sunglasses at night since, like, high school.
I guess I don't understand the people who get mad about things like that. Like, that level of mad. Like, I can see someone getting mad about, like...
It's like, yeah, if I'm wearing sunglasses at night, I know that I'm doing that, and I'm doing, it's not because I'm trying to be a douche or something, right? It's just because what else am I going to do with them? I have them on me.
But I think it's a first principles thing of why is there even this idea, like, why is there even a question, is it douchey to wear sunglasses at night?
Right.
I mean, the Blues Brothers taught me that is, in fact, proper decorum.
Sure. There are some times where it's kind of douchey to wear sunglasses, but usually...
At your own wedding.
Okay, it's a combination of the person wearing the sunglasses and their demeanor, not simply the wearing of the sunglasses. For example, you can tell when someone's like a mad high bro who's covering up the fact that they're high but has to do something.
True, but then the sunglasses are not the problem, the bro is.
Or someone who's like mad celebrity but, didn't put makeup on or whatever and doesn't want you to see that their horrible reality and is wearing sunglasses like to walk through the airport where all the paparazzi are.
But again, that's not a problem with sunglasses. In fact, that's a utility of sunglasses.
It is a utility of sunglasses, but it can also make the wearer appear more douchey than, say, a celebrity who doesn't have the sunglasses and just like, hi, everyone, I'm here, I'm getting my car by. Right? You have a different aura that you exude when wearing them.
I guess I enjoy the aura of stay the fuck away from me, leave me alone, I'm a dickbag.
That is my aura.
Yep.
You don't need to go to the aura reading place that's opening up in my neighborhood.
Takumi pulls up in his car next to you. He's like, what's this aura I see?
It's like a blue fire around me.
I saw this great picture of Mitasuji's aura.
That's your favorite aura. It's the same as yours. You look in the mirror.
I can't bend over completely backwards and stick my tongue out while maintaining a pedaling cadence on my bike.
Oh, you can? Oh, why can't you?
I gotta stretch more, I guess. Play more Voldo and Soul Calibur.
Right. Are there any other sunglass-related anecdotes? Perhaps sunglasses were lost or broken in a fantastic way and not a mundane way?
So a friend of ours who will not be named was in Wildwood, and she put her sunglasses on and got into the ocean.
I never wear any kind of glasses in any kind of body of water.
I have lost sunglasses in oceans before, and
I won't even go in a large swimming pool with any sort of accessory that could be dislodged from my body.
See, I wear glasses all the time, so...
What about those croaky thingies?
Yeah, so this person did not have a croaky thingy.
Aren't those ridiculously dorky and should not be used at all, ever?
No, those are 100% legit.
I put them in fanny pack territory.
So, Scott, would you ride a roller coaster with your current Oakleys on your eyes unsecured?
No, they give this little locker before you get on the roller coaster. You can put your stuff in.
You don't want, so you're gonna be squinting and uncomfortable for the entire roller coaster ride?
I'll just close my eyes and go, woo!
You don't want to have your eyes open? That's the whole reason you sit in the front.
I think I'll be all right.
Also, a lot of roller coaster parks don't have those little lockers. What are you gonna do then?
Not go to that shitty amusement park.
Some of the big ones, like Cedar Point for the longest time was you got to know your shit if you get in line. They'll let you stand in line for 4 hours and then kick you out because you don't meet some requirement or you're carrying some big bag.
I think I'll be all right.
So, yeah,
I've never had a problem. It's been a long time since I've been to an amusement park, but when I went to them, I had sunglasses, and it was never a problem. I've never lost a sunglass at an
Don't you
amusement
not
park.
ride like the proper good upside down roller coasters?
I'll ride whatever.
Will you?
Why
Will
not?
you?
What's gonna happen?
Okay. I remember old conversations.
I mean, I generally try to avoid it's not like I'm afraid to ride anything at a amusement park. I just try to avoid riding anything that I'm pretty sure will make me bargle. Right? It's like, well, I'm not, I'm not like, oh no, I can't ride that. It's dangerous. It's a safe amusement park ride that hundreds of people have ridden all
But Scott,
summer without
how could a
being
roller coaster
harmed.
make you bargle?
Because you can bargle on a roller coaster.
No, the only people who do
Especially if I just ate a funnel cake or some shit.
that. No.
Yeah.
You're just bad at roller
All right,
coaster.
fine, Rim. Let's eat funnel cakes and go on the craziest roller coaster they have.
Scott, I've done that.
And then I'll punch you in the stomach while riding it.
I'm not Houdini. That's how Houdini died.
On a roller coaster.
Some dude was like,
Wearing
yeah,
sunglasses.
I'll punch you in the stomach.
Is Houdini on a roller coaster wearing sunglasses. Then he gets punched in the stomach. No, he died from just a punch, not from the other parts that did
Also,
not.
I have seen other people lose sunglasses on roller coasters.
Whoa. All right.
I was on the Magnum XL 200, which at the time was the tallest roller coaster in the world. It was also the fastest roller coaster in the world.
At the
in
time.
fact,
Now it's a normal roller coaster.
well, now it's still one of the faster and taller. It's like it was.
Most
it was,
of the fastest and tallest ones now are really boring, like straight up and down the end.
yeah. Well, well,
These vertical spiral things and whatnot.
those I forget the term for that kind of
They're
coaster
lame,
because
but
those
they
came
are
into
the tallest
vogue.
and the fastest.
Those came into vogue after the like steel coaster
Yeah.
tube in and out types. And that was pretty much that was the fallen empires of the roller coaster era.
There's one in Taiwan that's like this big U-shaped one where it's like basically you're sitting. It's a hanging one where you're sitting in a seat hanging, and it uses like a Gauss cannon and shoots you forward. You go up one side, then you fall down, of course, backwards.
Yeah,
Then
know
you
what?
go up the other side backwards, then down it facing forwards, then up the other side, right, and back.
Last
and
I
forth.
checked, multiple fan bodies.
And it twists a bit, right? So it doesn't just go straight up; it twists on the way up and on the way down.
Yeah, those are bullshit coasters. I like the
course.
standard steel, one main hill,
Yep.
2 to 3 secondary hills,
Yep.
big loopy thing, and then come back in a high-speed rolling hill situation.
Yep.
That's like the standard steel coaster Intamin
Yep.
playbook for years. The Magnum was that. The Magnum was basically like the archetype of that kind of coaster.
Yep. That's the
And
best kind.
After the first year or two, they added brakes to it because to slow down the first hill because it was going so fast that a non-trivial number of people were getting minor whiplash and a few people broke their noses.
Well, that's not good.
I rode it just fine when it was that fast.
Sure.
It was fine.
Mhm.
But I was riding it one time and we were in the last car, meaning you're slow because you kind of hang down, so you're slower going down. Like you experience less speed on the actual downhill, but you're going at the maximum possible speed on the uphill as you get whipped around the top of the next hill. So we hit the back, we whip around the top, and this girl sitting in front of me, and her sunglasses just went straight up.
Straight up in the air.
Just woo!
So that's one more thing I talk about, right? So I have Google Glass with the sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
So
I can't experience that, so I don't know what
the
that's
number
like.
one reason I don't wear that more often is because the way Google Glass attaches to your head is it puts force downwards on the top of your ears, right? In order to
Yeah, it's true. Good sunglasses and like these glasses,
Right.
the weight is distributed perfectly evenly between ear, temple, nose.
Right, so the Google Glass is basically pushing down on your ears, especially the right ear, because that's carrying the weight of the actual device. So the nook of my right ear gets irritated wearing Google Glass for extended periods of time. The Oakley sunglasses I have, the way they attach to my head, they don't push down at all. I mean, they don't weigh anything either, but they push inwards towards the sides of my head. They're basically sticking to the side of my head like a clampy forceps kind of deal, right? So I can position the two, wings up high, down low near my ears, pretty much anywhere on the side of my head, and they don't move, especially with the rubber grippy bits on the side. So they're ridiculously comfortable because it's not uncomfortable to have something lightly pressing against the side of your head, right?
Wow.
Putting, where there's a nice skull there, which is, pretty durable.
Yeah, well,
But
you know what that
the
is?
sensitive ear flesh having weight applied to it is
Google
not good.
Glass was designed as a piece of technology and does not have the history of glasses design behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Glasses do not have that problem.
Yep.
And Google
I've never
Glass,
had that problem with any other glasses-like thing I've ever worn,
For
which is
me,
mostly sunglasses.
Google Glass does not have that problem because I replaced that frame with basically what amounts to a regular glasses frame. So to this day, Coaster Buzz.
I could replace it with a sunglasses frame and put non-prescription lenses in it, but then what do I do if I want to wear a Google Glass and not wear sunglasses simultaneously?
To this day, the Magnum XL 200, despite decades of advancement, is still ranked the 33rd best roller coaster in the world by Coaster Buzz.
Where does the it sound? I've never ridden it, obviously, because never went to Cedar Point.
Yep.
But the most similar coaster to that, in your description that I have ridden, is the Superman at Six Flags New England, which is a steel coaster that goes down a hill and then some
That's ranked 35th.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's okay. So the successor type of coaster to that was typified by the Millennium Force, which was also the tallest.
Which is
built.
even which is 1/3 bigger.
Yeah. So to this day, the Millennium Force is ranked number 4 in the world, and
What?
it was built when I was in high school.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, aren't the only things that are taller and faster are the stupid kind?
Yes, there is, I believe, one out and back coaster, one or two that are taller or faster, but they're not better by most rankings because they're very simple. Yeah, not getting into roller coasters.
Tangent and sunglasses to roller coasters.
Otherwise, I'm gonna start talking about Intamin.
Sure. All right.
I'm kind of thinking about going back to Cedar Point though, like
my
flying to
brother
Ohio.
was there pretty recently.
Do you want to like next summer? You want to take a
Why
trip?
don't we do the Halloween? All the amusement parks are always open on Halloween.
I know Cedar Point's Halloween's fucking baller too.
Right? Every amusement park's Halloween is baller. That's like they're like, all right, let's open one more day, guys. Woo!
Next summer, because I don't know if I'll go to Paxos a third year in a row.
No, you won't.
You want to go to Cedar Point and just ride, because we haven't ridden roller coasters in how many years?
We're gonna bargain.
Want to just go get it all out of our system in one go?
We can pay when the thing is we have money, we can go and do like the maximum pass that's like cut every line or whatever they sell.
Yep. Shall I warm Sir's vomit bag?
Yes, you shall. In fact, it's quite warm already. Let's heat it up some more. Another funnel cake.
I feel like we should do this rather than riding, because that one time we rode that shit roller coaster in Wildwood.
We should start with the smallest and work our way up.
Yeah, because the Magnum is super fun, but if you ride the Millennium Force, it literally makes every other coaster you'll ever ride in the rest of your life feel really pathetic. So if you and I go to Cedar Point, you're riding the Millennium Force last, and you gotta be comfortable with the fact that you're never gonna ride a roller coaster again.
Well, we can just ride that one again.
You could.
Anyway,
We could just ride that all day and skip everything else.
I'll leave my sunglasses at home.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.
Blue blocker sunglasses. They're really different.
My name is Geek. I put them on as a shocker, man. I love these blue